maybe it's not time for them, but high school is old enough, you know, is my feeling. Is more than old enough, because we feel these things, right? And we start feeling crushes on other people very young, and the less time, or rather the later, the longer we delay our ability to think and process this, you know, the more time is wasted, you know. So, you know, and I can tell you too, Saratoga High is known as a very romantically sexually repressed high school, right, where we don't talk or think about these things. The number of, I can even pull this up on Facebook, I can show you, you know, picture after picture of friends I went to high school with, and you can see Asian men kind of become slouchier and less attractive, right? Asian women, not always, but very often, I can point to at least 8 or 9 examples of just, of my friends just dropping out of college and just partying their asses off, you know, because they couldn't do that in high school, right? And, you know, that's what they value now.
Even men or women?
What?
Women drop out of college?
Yeah. You know, or, you know, I think slightly more serious example is them going to college and having a lot of, you know, sexual experiences that they regret because they didn't know how to do it in a healthy way earlier on. You know, once they're in college, there's no guidance really to do that in a good or bad way. It's going to happen regardless, right? The question is how you can impart your knowledge when you can. You know.
You mean all this is high school?
Well, in high school,
I just
yeah.
want to open it.
Yeah, in high
Because
school.
we, as parents, you know, we worry about the girls who will get hurt, you know, usually.
Of course.
That's what we worry about. We don't know how serious like the boys is. Maybe some boys just want to shoot their trophy, like how dating so many girls or something. You know, we don't want my girl be the victim for that guy, that kind of guy.
Right.
Like, so that's you try because that's what we try to protect the girls. You know, that's,
Their emotions.
I want,
yeah,
I want you to be, if they really, it was really, you know, is serious or something. That's one thing this parents worry about. Secondly, you know, I don't know. I mean, for this age, I really.
It's
Whatever you tell me, okay, I want
not easy.
yeah,
It's
I
not
know, I
easy
do.
to think about, right? I mean, if you're coming from a place of my daughter is a perfect angel, you know, I can guarantee you that by college that perception changes, right? And how it changes is up to you right now. You're not going to have that kind of control or an opportunity once they're in college.
No, I don't think my daughter is an angel, but I just want if they dating with some boy, it's just, you know, they will be like not perfect angel. Of course she's an angel, but it's not always, you know, I saw the kids, you know, really the both sides very serious, not like I don't know.
My opinion is that in general, women of any age are of higher quality than the men that are around them. Personal opinion, but that means that, you know, if any of you who have daughters in the audience, they're gonna date men that you are gonna feel are just beneath them, and it's probably true too. But
wow,
I'm not saying you personally. I'm saying averages, right?
I don't know.
I think you're a great guy. So the question then is, you know, when your daughter comes to you and says, "I'm dating this person," and you meet this person and you hate them, right? Right? Fine, hate them as much as you want. Maybe it's entirely justified, but
Hit them.
I'm not saying hate them if you need to.
I know what this. Okay.
Right.
I don't want this. I don't want to have that experience.
And I'm saying that.
How do you do the general? Yeah.
I'm
okay,
saying
tell me more.
I'm saying you're most likely gonna have that experience. You're almost guaranteed you're gonna have that experience.
I don't want my daughter
Good men are in
first
short
of
supply. Yeah, but it's probably gonna happen, right? And the question is how you deal with that. Are you gonna say, I hate that guy, never date? Or are you gonna say, what is it that you like about this person? You know, like what are the things that that you think that you want in a relationship? You know, it might be early for you. You maybe you haven't thought about this much yet, but you're gonna learn about what you want. So you know, let's talk about this, right? So that's how you build this relationship, you know, with your daughter about this topic. It is about being open to it and learning what it is that they want, you know, how they're learning, right? And also how maybe you're learning, you know, as a result of their experience. And also what you can teach them, right? it's very easy to be like, you're too young, you know, but then
Right.
that
because
means,
I
yeah.
don't have to- for us, for our generation, probably not dating so young. So
Right,
just,
right. Yeah,
so
it's,
don't know.
it's
I
hard.
don't know. I mean, that time because I think it's not mature enough. How they know what is really this, the dating they really this guy or somehow they just. Because I basically as parents we don't want them to get hurt. That's
And and that's gonna happen too. I don't think I
maybe
know.
the next experience, but I don't want to pay the hard way to learn something.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and they'll probably be hurt, and your role at that point is to know, is to learn a few things about them, which is how are they learning from this, how are they feeling about this, and maybe all they can talk about is how much it hurts. That's fine too, right? And the most important thing is to just take the opportunity to let them know that you're there for them. Like it's like in my case, right? Don't be like my mother, in which case, she becomes a judge, right? So yeah, there's a lot of room to grow the relationship in these moments, and that's what you should be looking forward in these cases.
Then I want to know how serious, for the first dating, like how serious usually for girls and boys. Usually, I don't know, the boys are really serious or also I want to know.
Alex, you want to take this?
It'll vary.
Alex.
All
Why?
Yeah, or
These
just get
are
experience. Because or just get experience. Because I heard some boys, like mom, they have a son, they say, I want my boy dating as more girls because they want them to get
No, that's my
experience.
mom.
Then I feel, gosh, my daughter don't want to be that, cheating chick for their person to get experience out,
So let me put
This is for both sides, I don't know.
let me put forth an uncomfortable idea.
Okay.
What if your daughter were to date a lot of boys?
I don't feel good either.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good. But I think a lot of the women I've dated, with whom I've been most comfortable with, with whom I've had the most mature relationships, are also women with a lot of experience. The ones who know what they're doing, right? So uncomfortable idea. I'm not saying it has to happen, but I'm saying there's that belief, and you can stretch what's comfortable for you, towards that
So
relationship.
experience is good, you mean, in this?
Yes, Dad.
No, in Chinese tradition, experience in this area is not good, right?
Sure. No, experience. It doesn't have to be any kind of experience. Just simply knowing how to understand someone and communicate with them in a good way. That is not something that is easy to develop in a vacuum.
Yeah, try to understand on the other side, understand other side, what they think from men's side, how they think, from women's side, it's totally, same thing, maybe thinking totally different way, so.
Okay, Alex.
All right, take it away.
What am I supposed to say?
Tell us
So
about
your mama
relationship.
tell you have to
Any
date,
step
get
back.
more
More
experience,
girls.
dating more girls, right?
Yeah,
that
but I don't want
question.
to.
Come
That's
back,
a-
come
see,
back
that's
to
a lot of
that, what you said about Asian or a Chinese young man being at the bottom of the desirability. Or statistically, okay.
Okay.
How do you suggest the young man, Chinese young man should learn in their life to establish their self-confidence or whatever, to know this exists, this kind of thinking exists in the society, how should I do, how should I survive in this society?
So, I think on this particular issue, I've hosted a few gatherings with a lot of Asian men to talk about this. My personal stance is something of a radical one, which is to remember that your responsibility as a man, no matter how desirable you feel, is to be an ally to women. Ultimately, however undesirable you feel, that never compares to the pressures a woman faces in the dating world, right? So, the reason I say that is, it takes an extreme sense of maturity to know that, yes, you're in pain, but someone else needs your help more, right? Someone else needs your ability to fight for them, right? That's the kind of maturity that ends up making you desirable. So that's my foremost thought. And the other, I think, is a little bit more complicated in terms of how race and gender interact. You know, I think a lot of Asian men, you know, because when they feel undesirable, they become very insecure about it, right? They feel like they want to lash out. You know, if you guys remember the 2014 UCSB shooting, right, was done by a half Asian man who was he was extremely frustrated with the fact that he was half Asian, because he felt like everyone was ignoring him and all this stuff. And his response, instead of being an ally to women, instead of dealing with his insecurity, was to shoot women, right? And so, you know, I think the way that that sexism works in this society, I should say it's the same cause. You know, the reason why Asian women are uncomfortable, you know, and pursued very greatly, is the same reason why Asian men are uncomfortable and undesired. So, you know, it requires that you don't get stuck in the idea of how undesired you are. You know, don't get stuck at it. You know, your responsibility is still to fight.
Actually, I read an article recently, not too long ago, written by two Yale professors. I think the topic is what drives a group of people to be successful in the society. I mean, something like that. In other words, what drives people to be successful in the United States in this environment? 3 reasons, 3 key factors. These 3 needs to be well balanced. The first is the feeling or the believing of superiority of your race or your group. You know, like Jew, they think they are God-chosen people. Like Chinese, I mean, the traditional Chinese believe they're the smartest people in the world. They have 5,000. Of course, they may not be true. Actually, I don't believe it. But there's a believing that they have 5,000 years of history. Therefore, they are the smartest people. They can succeed in any places in the world as long as the competition is based on your brain and your hard working. Of course, not, you know, not physically. We're not that. This is the first factor. The second factor is a feeling of insecurity. Actually, these 2 are sort of contradictory to each other, according to these 2 professors. In other words, you feel you may lose a lot of things if you don't try very hard. If you do not shoot your target, set your target high, then you may lose